but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Thank
And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
In my opinion, that made us look weak. That made us look incredibly weak. Because think about it this way, chat. Look, I always say whenever you think about politics, forget all the media fanfare, forget all the propaganda. You got to strip this down to its bare bones, primitive perspective. Strip all the fucking technology away from it. Strip everything away from it. Imagine Trump and Putin are two tribal leaders during the Stone Age. They're disputing territory. And one tribal leader goes to the other tribal leader's camp and he meets him in his camp. Who is the stronger leader? The person who went to the camp of the enemy or the person who stayed in their own territory and refuses to go to the camp of the enemy? I don't know if I'm making sense, chat. I don't know if you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. Who comes off stronger? Who comes off stronger? The person who's not afraid to go into the enemy territory and meet with you on your own grounds, or the person who refuses to go? Because Trump in that video refused to go. Essentially. He's essentially saying that he doesn't have the courage to go to Russia, basically. But the truth is, if he goes to Russia, he probably would be assassinated. There's no way he goes into Russia safely. They have hell of assassins, bro. So I understand the reality on the ground, but at the same time, I feel like it kind of makes him come off weak. He says, Scott, you're not even American. What do you mean makes us look weak? Green day every day. I live here, don't I? I live here, don't I? I just mean as a nation state, it makes us look weaker than if he had just said, we'll go. Even if he's lying. If I was Trump to save face, I would lie and say, yeah, sure, we'll meet you at Russia. We'll meet you in Moscow next time. Just to save face. Is that a crazy take, chat? And now you got liberals and you got conservatives fighting over this whole meeting. Who won? What's it mean? It's like, what do you mean, what's it mean, and who won? In my opinion, both countries are posturing. But this is not a good look, chat. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. It just isn't. Throughout history, every time there's going to be a major war, they always meet up before the major war and try and negotiate. If the negotiations fall through, then it spirals out of control. So Trump has one more meeting with he has a meeting with Zelensky coming up, and then he has another meeting with Putin. If they don't come to a ceasefire agreement or some sort of peace deal, it's GG's, bro. That's my opinion on the topic. He says, we'll see. Well, we'll see what happens. The problem is, I feel like, what can we do to Russia to persuade them? There's nothing we can do. Sanctions? More sanctions? Anyways, does anybody have any opinions on this, chat? I hate when we bring up something and he says we can get the polar bears and vodka. I'm just afraid we're gonna have a freaking nuclear war over this bullshit. Honestly, if it was up to me, the problem is that America has to stand by their word, though. I was gonna say something that is contradictory to that policy. We promised Ukraine that we wouldn't let Russia invade their country decades ago. This is the reason why Ukraine doesn't have nuclear weapons, because they gave up their nuclear weapons because we promised them that we were going to protect them. So I think that if you promised a country that you're going to protect them, you got to stand by your word, right? You can't just abandon them when time gets heated. Unfortunately. The fortunate thing is that Ukraine is not part of NATO. So we can kind of go back a little bit on what we promised, but at the end of the day, I just think that it's still a bad move.
Russian commentators are calling the meeting in Alaska between US President Donald Trump and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin historic.
Category
Ukraine's president will meet with President Trump on Monday in Washington. It comes days after Trump's summit with Russia's leader in Alaska, and it's the latest effort to try to find a breakthrough in the war in Ukraine.
You got me on that one, Rob. I'm not even gonna lie. He says, you know, the reason. Let me explain I'll explain my logic here, but I think you're more right than me. I think in this case, Rob, I'm actually wrong. The reason I jumped to Monkey App first is because I said if I jump on Monkey App, right? If I jump on the Monkey App, I'm gonna have more people watching the stream when I finish this segment, right? Which is a true statement. We have 14, 15 people in the stream right now watching it. Whereas if I did the Trump segment first, we would be going into Monkey App with like 9, 10 people at the most. Well, I don't know. There's a slim chance because sometimes when you cover politics and news, you do start getting like a bunch of random people that want to watch news content. But for the most part, I was assuming that doing the Trump segment and doing news and doing some reactions first would lead to a lower view count going into the Monkey App. And I wanted to go into Monkey App with the higher view count so I could try and get to at least 20, 25 viewers. That's the reason why I picked that order. But you're low-key correct. Because now we got a bunch of people in here, but the bunch of people are kids. And they don't want to see no damn politics, I don't think. I could be wrong. But I don't think that they do.